stock market to crypto to whatever, people want to have the cash on hand because who the hell knows if it's going to cost $100 for a loaf of bread by next month.
I know.
So you kind of got to have it. So anyway, that's where we stand economically. And next up, we'll get to the Kavenaugh attempted assassination. But we're right about due for a break.
Sure, so it would be great. I'm going to go put my dog in his laundry room. I don't know how he got out because I don't want to hear him barking.
I did hear. Yeah, I could hear him.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna go take care of it.
Yeah, I will. I'll read some chats. Okay, let's start over on Tippy Stream because I have that handy. And over on D Live, Jen Collin, I think I missed your chat on the Wednesday stream. My apology for that, but thank you for supporting the show. Over on Tippy Stream, let me find where we started here. Charles Yaus says, well, hold on. I was at a barbecue earlier today, and my brother-in-law actually said that people were dumb to blame Biden for gas prices because it's Putin's fault. I wanted to take a shit on his face, but that seemed inappropriate for a family event. Isn't that amazing when you hear that sort of line delivered in a way that we would probably say to each other sarcastically, like, oh man, isn't this Putin stuff a big shame? To, I suppose, people of that perspective, not even I suppose, that is actually their truth, quote unquote. Another demonstration of how deep so many of the splits in this country are. What seems like sarcastic satire to us is in fact an uncontroversial statement of fact. But I think you're wise to hold your tongue at the family events in the interest of peace. So credit to you if you didn't make a scene of it. Thank you, Charles. Phil says, that didn't take long for someone to try to harm a Supreme Court justice. The Dems are playing for keeps, riling up their base to try to assassinate officials. They are then arresting their political rivals on trumped up charges. This can't continue. Yeah, we'll get to both of those very shortly, not just the attempted assassination, but now the claims out of the January 6th committee hearing. They've built a case for the indictment of Trump. So let's see if they actually try that. Jacob says, Matt has no hoax hate for this week, but he puts in things that actually count. Matt, ADL or CDC confirmed. If I was more likely to work for one, what would it be? Would I be ADL or CDC or some other kind of
CDC
Fed?
For sure.
CDC. Yeah. I don't think I'm CDC, but then again, to your classic line, would I even know if I was?
They get you sometimes.
Phil says, pride in North Idaho. Seriously, these people are far too comfortable thumbing their noses at us. Yeah, it's it does seem sort of out of place, but that part of the country or that part of the state better than I do.
Mm. Well, that they're not. The whole thing is a show to let them know that they're not going to let us live our lives with all this globo homo shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to stay away from groomers and fags and stuff? Like, we'll just come to you.
Long Dong John says, Matt and I once made love at the Idaho Pride Parade. Oh boy. It was the most beautiful and wholesome thing to happen that day, and neither the feds or the gay KK could stop it.
I like that.
Many of those people probably have AIDS.
Phil says, great videos this week by both of you. Jared Taylor is always a breath of fresh air. Matt, funny how some folks always involved with Patriot Act are now involved with the Disinfo Board. Some... So you can't say that. He's suspicious of some of the names. But yeah, the Disinfo Board. I mean, a shock of shocks. Everything they told us about the Disinfo Board, how it was meant to counter foreign propaganda, and it was actually going to protect our freedoms. Documentation came out showing, no, they wanted to monitor you. They were really worried about you, the American citizen. Thank you, Phil. Moist Farts says, according to the Webster's, Ooga Booga... I can't say this. Ooga Booga is Ebonics for eggplant. I don't know if that's true. Anyway, if you're ready to go on YouTube, go for it.
I am. Let's see. Excuse me, man. Is this allergies or something? Both of us are like.
It's Corona. I can't shake it.
Maybe. Holden Mulray. Question for Blonde. What is the federal government price on a U-Haul rental? I don't know.
You know how it's fake? I bet you can't even get a U-Haul in Coeur d'Alene. You can't get those here.
Yeah, really.
That's the whole thing was a setup. Actually, someone sent me a photo and I didn't show it because I can't confirm it. Could be shopped, or it could be someone's megaphone that was a joke. One of the megaphones that the group had, the Patriot Front guy, says FBI on it. But I mean, that could be a trolley sticker for all I know. It doesn't necessarily. I got to believe that if they were FBI, they would not brand their materials FBI.
Right, right.
But
I don't know, but maybe it's like a double cross or something.
Who knows?
Robin D. Banks. Matt and I once made spaghetti. He almost ruined the sauce with garlic, but I was ready with basil leaves and oregano. Medium smooth with the right thickness to saturation rate. That's fine. Yeah, I'll read that.
That one's very wholesome, but I actually prefer garlic to oregano and basil. If I had to pick, I'm going with garlic.
That's insane. You need all these things. Daniel Kunkel. Bill Barr says Hillary Clinton could have been charged with sedition. Just now he's saying that. What of the other traitors in the FBI and Congress? A day late and $1 short doesn't even begin. I know, it's very frustrating, isn't it?
I didn't hear that. Was that in reference to what? The Russia stuff or something else? Okay.
Robin D. Bangs. Blonde and I once made hate. It was on accident, though. We were tying 2 sticks together to cook s'mores, and it happened to be on the property of an African-American family. We didn't know.
Wow. Just a camping outing gone wrong.
Mostly peaceful wood chipper. Matt and I once made love until the police found us in a U-Haul and put him in handcuffs. They would have done the same to me, but I was already wearing them.
Wearing what?
The handcuffs.
Oh. Okay. Thank you.
iBot PN, you're the man. You never make me read anything.
You're acting queer.
Thank you, iBot.
Bill Biz. Wow, Blonde, you're killing it with the interviews lately. Absolutely iconic heavyweights. It's hard to imagine that once upon a time you could openly discuss controversial issues in academia as well as the public square. You know, it's very strange talking to these people that I've idolized for so many years, and it truly is like talking to an A-list celebrity. I was so nervous for those 2 interviews this week. I was just could barely sleep.
This is like Blonde meeting Justin Bieber or something like that. Speaking of, did you see the Bieber news?
Yeah, he has facial paralysis, which is clearly Bell's palsy from taking the jab, but he's talking about how it's like hereditary or something. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, he has facial paralysis, and it's totally normal. There's no questions to be asked about that at all.
I know.
His tour is canceled.
Yeah, he looks really bad. Let's circle back.
Okay. Thank you guys. Appreciate your chats as always.
I'll have to just circle back with you.
We will check back toward the end of the show. For now, we'll get back into the news and, what should be the major news of the week in really any other context. But of course, it's Brett Kavanaugh, and everybody hates him, so he doesn't count. But attempted arrest and charge of attempted murder in, I guess, the attempted assassination of a Supreme Court justice should be the news of the week.
The news cycle was like 1 day on this. Can you imagine if this happened to Sotomayor? I'd never hear the fucking end of it.
I think the New York Times famously this week put it on something like page A20. So,
are you serious?
Yeah, I don't think it even made headline.
When you told me to look at this, I checked my Daily Mail app, and it was like some stupid. The headlining story was some stupid thing about some girl damaging the Spanish Steps. And then Brett Kavanaugh was like way down there. I was like, are you people serious?
Well, the Daily Mail is very hit or miss. Sometimes they have very valuable information. Sometimes it's just off the wall shit,
So the dude, his name is Nicholas John Roski. He's 26. He's from Simi Valley, California. And he's been charged with attempted murder of a Supreme Court justice, obviously, after he called authorities and said he was having suicidal thoughts and wanted to kill a specific justice. And this is what I noticed a lot in the media reporting, that he had threatened to kill a specific justice.
Okay.
Like as though it's not Kavanaugh. He was
a specific,
3 blocks
non-specific.
Yeah. Because he was upset by the leaked draft. And I thought this is what the affidavit says. I thought this quote is very important. Roski stated that he began thinking about how to give his life a purpose and decided that he would kill the Supreme Court justice. So he was going to kill Kavanaugh and then he was going to kill himself. But this is what we're dealing with. Insane leftists that have nothing to live for, and they're poor and they have no families, and they're secular. And so they're like, well, what is going to give me social credit points? My life doesn't matter. This is like Brett and Tarrant on the left.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's true. Yeah, cross ideologically. Mm-hmm. What's true with the Uvalde shooter? Dad who wasn't there because of coronavirus, didn't even know his son. Again, I think you're exactly right that this statement, how do I give my life purpose? I think that that's something that's true almost universally in what is typically the young man who ends up in this sort of situation. Doesn't mean this guy's not crazy. Doesn't mean this guy's doing the right thing, obviously. But that we're supposed to say, look, the common piece is the gun. And he didn't have an AR in this case. He had a Glock. It's true he had a gun. But the common piece is really the young man robbed of purpose. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to act like that doesn't matter. And we're going to demonize men and call it toxic masculinity and never connect the dots as these things keep repeating.
Exactly. Oh, I mean, isn't that the real tragedy of all this? I don't know very much about his home life, but surely all these things are preventable. Having no purpose in your life. Can you imagine what a low level you'd have to be at in your personal life where you were like, well, I have to kill somebody just so that I can make a name for myself at age 26 as a man? Sure. I mean, certainly I've been in position in my life where I've questioned its purpose or felt like I haven't had its purpose properly organized. Right. But to think, well, my purpose could be the assassination of a Supreme Court justice. I mean, yeah, how twisted. And then within the last couple of days, we have seen details and actually heard the audio from the 911 calls. So what happened is this guy flew to DC, flew to whatever airport he used close to Kavanaugh's house in Maryland. And he taxis to this spot outside of Kavanaugh's house. And if I understand correctly, there were U.S. Marshals already there because the Supreme Court homes are being watched by police because of all the threats to them. They have excellent security. Yeah. And this guy called 911 on himself twice. The first call ended after about a minute because he couldn't give a specific address, but then he called back and he spoke with a dispatcher for about 14 minutes. And the 911 calls are consistent with the facts alleged in the criminal complaint. So here is just a brief segment of that 911 call.
I am having thoughts. I've been having them for a long time. I'm from California. I came over here to act on them.
Are you thinking of hurting anyone, including yourself?
Yes.
Do you have access to any weapons?
Yes. I brought a firearm with me, but it's unloaded and locked in a case.
Do you need medical attention?
I need psychiatric help.
And you said you came from California. Do you know someone down here?
Brett Kavenaugh.
What were you coming to do? Just to hurt yourself and him, or what was going to happen?
Correct.
And again, you're still sitting at the curve.
I'm standing now, but I can sit whatever. I want to be fully compliant, so whatever they want me to do, I'll do.
Well, I mean, I guess good for him.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it stated definitively. Did he try to make a move and he was intimidated by the police on scene, or did he have some sudden realization before making a move on the home? I'm not exactly clear on that. But we do know he had a full kit. And there's one lesser mentioned detail about this kit that I think is interesting. You've probably heard about the gun. He had a Glock 17. Mm-hmm. He had zip ties. He had pepper spray. He had other burglary tools, as this story calls them. But in this suitcase of his, he also had a pair of quote unquote made to be quiet boots. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but apparently they are boots with soles that are designed with padding for stealth movement, less sound when you move around inside of a home or another quiet environment. Police captain on the case says the boots with padding really raised red flags. So I suppose this is something of a unusual item. I'm not exactly...
A lot of planning into this.
Apparently so. And just to be extra clear about the motives here and about how this happened, because we're supposed to believe that this is just a kooky person with no particular connection to anybody or anything, or any of the protesting or the propaganda or the rhetoric that's been circulating about Supreme Court justices ever since the leak in early May. Roski, according to investigators, as explained in the complaint, was explicitly motivated by the leaked opinion in the Dobbs case, the case that stands to overturn Roe v. Wade any day now. He mentioned that, speaking with investigators specifically. Roski also cited anger about the Uvalde shooting and Kavanaugh's perceived position on the Second Amendment as motivating factors. Very ironic, of course, that you want to go shoot someone because of their perceived support for the Second Amendment, but that is what he said. I point this out just because this isn't speculation that, I think this guy might have been motivated by progressive or left-wing politics as they relate to the Supreme Court recently. He's saying that explicitly. He is a violent actor with a left-wing motive driven to action by anger over issues that progressives are stirring up hostility about and indeed are sharing addresses about. He's telling the feds that he got Kavanaugh's address online. I've not seen specifically where, but of course we know, and it seems reasonable to infer that he probably got that address from various activists who have been posting that information online for the last few weeks. So
months, years.
Yeah.